There's a strange feeling that hits you sometimes. You hear an old ringtone, you see a blurry, low resolution photo, or you randomly remember waiting for a cartoon to come on TV at a fixed time, and suddenly your chest feels lighter. That's nostalgia, and for a lot of us, it points to one era. That's 2000s. Not because life was perfect, not because the world was better in every measurable way, but because being human felt simpler, slower, and more real. Let me explain why the 2000s was genuinely one of the best times to be alive. In 2000s, the internet was a place, not a prison. You didn't live online, you visited it. There were no algorithms deciding what you should think, like, or feel. No constant comparison, no pressure to turn your personality into a brand. If you were bored, you didn't scroll. You went outside, you called a friend, you watched whatever was on TV, and somehow enjoyed it. Moments weren't documented for validation, they just existed. And that made them feel real. Everything required patience. Movies came to theaters first, then DVDs, then maybe TV months later. Cartoons aired at fixed times. Miss the episode? Too bad. Wait for the rerun. Music had to be downloaded slowly, painfully, or bought physically. And because of that, you valued it more. Today, we have everything instantly, and somehow nothing feels special. In 2000, anticipation was half the joy. Phones were tools, not extension of your identity. No constant notifications, no doom scrolling, no anxiety from seeing people live better lives than you. A phone was for calls, texts, maybe snake if you were feeling wild. You weren't reachable 24/7, and that freedom, we didn't realize how precious it was. Movies weren't designed for clips, music wasn't optimized for TikTok hooks, games weren't live service psychological experiments. Studios took risks. We got weird movies, original ideas, stories that trusted the audience. We could feel the human touch behind things, not just data and engagement metrics. Entertainment felt made by people, not manufactured for attention. Childhood felt longer. This is important. The 2000s let you be a kid without rushing you into adulthood. No social media telling you to grow up, no pressure to monetize your hobbies, no constant exposure to adult anxieties. You played, you imagined, you were bored, and boredom made you creative. Growing up felt gradual, natural. Today, kids are forced into awareness far too early. Mistakes were allowed to disappear. You could be awkward, cringe, say something stupid, and it wouldn't be archived forever. There were no screenshots, no viral moments, no permanent digital record. You were allowed to change quietly. That alone made life psychologically safer. When you met someone, they were there, not half present, not checking notifications, not filming. Conversations weren't interrupted by vibrations in pockets. Silence wasn't uncomfortable, it was normal. Human connection felt deeper, not louder. The world felt big. This might sound strange, but hear me out. The world felt larger in the 2000s because you didn't see everything. You didn't know everything instantly. Mystery existed. You discovered things slowly. Music, movies, ideas, people. Today everything is exposed, analyzed, explained, and reduced within hours. Back then discovery felt personal. Optimism was still alive. The 2000s existed in a strange window, after major technological breakthroughs, before constant global anxiety. There was hope, belief that things were moving forward. The future didn't feel heavy, it felt exciting. We didn't wake up every day bracing ourselves for bad news. Work stayed at home, home stayed home. You weren't expected to be available at all the time. You weren't on 24/7. Life had pauses, and those pauses kept people sane. The 2000s wasn't perfect, but it was balanced. Technology hadn't hijacked our psychology yet. Life hadn't turned into a performance. Being human didn't feel exhausting. We lived more in the moment, not because we tried to, but because that was the default. Maybe that's why we miss it. Not because we want the past back, but because we are craving something we lost along the way: presence, simplicity, and the freedom to just exist.